Hey guys, it's me again. Today I am doing another video on Songs of War. Joined here again by Noah,
Hello.
this wonderful man who was with me last time we did one of these videos. There is a lot to go through. A lot has happened since last summer. There's been a lot of new things to talk about. So, I mean, let's just get going.
Okay.
So we've got new info. We got a comment on the last one from Mont himself. He talked about several different things that we pointed out in the video. One of them is about Patreon. Really simple. That is how they make their money. They wouldn't be able to do anything if they didn't have Patreon. He does agree though with our point from last video that it does help support them, just not direct for Songs of War. So that's
Right.
Just yay, do that. Go support on Patreon.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Give them all your money and support them on Patreon and the fundraisers.
Shut up and take my money.
Like two of the guys we're gonna talk about here shortly. Awesome. Anyway. So, yeah, that's that fun thing here. And then this fun thing here. So, going on to... Where is it? I cannot find it. I swear it was this comment. No.
No.
So yeah, at the last quarterly meeting, as of the last video's release, they had a meeting. They were all under the impression that Songs of War was still canceled at the time, and then Mont said something. So that's how it came out to be. They thought that they didn't have permission anymore due to the rebrand and no one wanting to associate with David, understandably.
Yeah.
He won't be involved in the project, of course. So, yeah, that's that. He never did anything with it. He had permission since 2021, so in theory he could have done something, but he didn't. So,
yeah. And better late than never.
But, yeah. Interesting stuff. More interesting stuff. Like, more interesting than what we were just talking about. Noah had mentioned doing backstories for, like, Thalius and Igneous. Mont said that Carl would likely be involved with that. Yay!
Yay.
We take that with a grain of salt since they haven't talked about anything. Don't bother either of them about it, though. Like, just let it happen as it does. We don't want to be bugging anybody. So I will continue to make that. Don't bother anybody about anything.
Yeah.
Let things happen, let them do their work.
Yeah, let them do their thing. Like I wouldn't bother them too much on this subject. Like they're busy people. They got lives, you know.
Yeah.
Like remember, they might voice your favorite character, but they're still people who have lives. Remember that.
Yeah. So again, just let them do their thing. We'll be able to see things sooner, and we'll enjoy it more if we just let Mont, Carl, and everybody else, whoever is going to be involved with anything, just do their thing. So, he continued saying, like, he'll do smaller stories, complete stories, such as backstories to Thalius or Igneous, as well as exploring, like, the Nether at the End more. They weren't really topics ever explored much. Like, we all know Netherins come from the Nether, and they're, like, good at combat and stuff, but
yeah,
we don't really get to explore the Nether very much. The same thing goes for the End. It's like, yeah, obsidian armor is made there. It's where the Ender Knights and dragons and Endermen are. It's like,
well,
we know everything at a surface level.
Yeah, basically, and we know Ender Knights are pretty much chosen. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wasn't what I was saying. I was getting at. I was more like that when an Ender Knight becomes an Ender Knight, that's where they are, than the end.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to see at deeper levels what these two dimensions are like. Like maybe get a Volcanus backstory.
Yeah,
See what
it would.
Volcanus was doing during the Great War. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a very fun idea. Like I definitely do feel like some characters background just weren't expanded upon and were left with like a bunch of unanswered questions, which for like for some stories I don't exactly mind. Like some stories don't are pretty vague sometimes. Let me just
like Herobrine. He's a very big character.
Yeah, like Herobrine. He's a very mysterious character. We have a lot of questions about him, but the show doesn't give direct answers about him. Like we don't know everything about him. That's what I like about Herobrine. But like other characters who are actually relevant to the story, I feel like they should be more expanded upon so we can actually understand the character more, you know?
Yeah, like I'd love to see some more information on Achillean.
Yeah.
We know a little bit of his backstory, but I feel like there's a lot more to it that could be explored and delved into. Because we've pretty much done everything with Death Singer at this point.
Yeah, like
we know everything about his history, his backstory, who he is.
Achillean
is less explored.
Yeah, now that I think about it, after reading the script for Songs of War, I feel like the entire series of Songs of War was just telling the story of Ingressus and his backstory and how much of a tragic character he is, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the script, Ingressus isn't really the protagonist. It's Sen. Sen is listed as the protagonist.
Right,
like
right.
The scene where he and Igneous run into Abby in Biggerton, it's referred to as protagonist bumps into Abigail. So he's a protagonist, but I do agree that Ingressus is kind of like a secondary protagonist in a way. He's still
in a way.
But I don't know. For more details on him, CK Voltaris made a very good in-depth analysis of Ingressus's character.
I watched that. I watched that video beginning to end, and it's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, it's in depth.
It really is. I loved it so much.
It explains a lot about his character that most people don't see at a surface level, which is one of the things I like about some of the characters in Songs of War. Is there's a lot of implied details that don't need to be spoken, that you need to kind of like pick up on to really understand a character.
Yeah, exactly.
I was floating around in the Songs of War chat yesterday, and I noticed a lot of people were being like, "Oh, why on earth would Ingressus send his entire army to fight the Nether? Like, that's just stupid. That doesn't sound like Death Singer." That's like, well, no, it kind of does, because Ingressus is very calculated. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't act on emotions. Death Singer, however,
yeah,
he's a little bit more emotional. So, that kind of thing, you need to understand the character to really understand some of the things that they do and pick up on these things.
Yeah, you don't notice them at first, but if you watch it enough times, you get a grasp. You get a grasp, and you get a better understanding of Ingressus and his character.
Yeah. Well, I think like delving into some more backstories and exploring some of these characters that could do a little more, like Lucan is another good example.
Yeah, like
what caused Lucan to turn to a life of crime every other week.
Yeah, and like what drove Nika to start hunting for the necromancers, like.
And that would add a lot of depth to Felden.
Yeah, it would.
The only thing that Felden is deep in is trees. So, Like, there's if and it definitely needs. We'll get into this later, but Felden is definitely one of the areas that needs some rewrites.
Yeah.
Because it felt more like David was just trying to get Felden involved in the story than actually serve a purpose. Which it kind of does, but it doesn't do its job well at it.
Right.
Like actually making Felden feel impactful.
Right, like here, yeah, like here, Felden, you get a participation award.
Basically, that's basically what happened. So yeah, just rewrites like that—that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would really be fun.
Yeah. Wait, are there any characters you would want to see rewritten, or maybe not rewritten, but like expanded upon?
Expanded upon. I would definitely like to see more of Lucan and Nika, like their backgrounds. I would definitely like to see how their life started out, because we don't really get that question answered. Like how do they turn up the way they are? They just say, boom, you get a guy who's a criminal, and you get a Felina female who is hunting the necromancers, and they just don't tell us why. Like what? Like how do they get from point A to point B? I feel like there could be a lot of potential if there's actually more in depth with how they came up to this point,
Yeah. Another thing he mentioned is that for the spin-offs, because we kind of sidetracked there, a little derailed. We'll get into more rewrite stuff later, but finishing up this comment, he said that at least for the first spin-off, it needs to be something popular in the world, and then to be able to catch the algorithm. I had suggested like the Red One Academy, because that's basically not explored at all in the series.
Oh yeah, the Redstone Academy. I forgot about that. Yeah, that place should definitely be explored a lot more.
Yeah, but Mon had said that if it's too niche like that, the spin-offs won't make that much of a dent in the progress.
That's
for getting funding.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is fair. But
yeah.
I mean, I would love to see it explored more at a later date.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's that one. Let's move on to some more interesting conversations. This time we're looking at funding.
Yes, we've
totally not making a big deal about a point so that YouTube can automatically make me timestamps and chapters. Totally not doing that. Anyway, funding, yes. So there's a lot of fun stuff when it comes to funding. We've got 2 people saying that they've got some pretty significant amounts that they will be able to donate. Someone here mentions that Songs of War, it's like a little backstory for this guy he had explained. He said that Songs of War initiated him into getting a degree in animation. He has a bachelor's in graphics design now, and the series holds a special place in his heart. He is willing to donate a couple $1,000, the number to be specified here in a second. Mont had said that... Well, actually, I'll just go over to it. So he said $5,000.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, it's a small dent, but that is substantial still. Being able to donate $5,000 to...
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much this guy makes, but we should definitely be thankful he's not pouring his entire bank account. Like I understand people want to be expressive on how much they're willing to donate, but me personally, I probably wouldn't brag on how much I plan on donating because, well,
I don't think he's bragging. He's more just stating like, "Hey, I have this amount to donate." I don't really see any bragging involved with that.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Poor choice of words.
Yeah, especially since he's saying like, "Don't get your hopes up. Everything is still in the air." Like he's still not certain if he's going to be able to do that.
Right.
But it's still a substantial amount.
Yeah.
Kind of. It is 1%, one solid percent.
One solid percent. Yeah.
However, Mont had replied from that, saying that's fascinating. Fundraisers will not be set up soon. Likely once the first spin-off releases, then it'll happen. It definitely won't be late this year, I can tell you that. Because they haven't even released the announcement video about it. So it's not going to be this year. I would probably start looking for spin-offs, like keeping an eye out for it. When he first said early to mid, or mid to late next year, I would say. Probably not early. But mid to late next year.
Yeah.
I would say is probably when we'll get the first spin-off. And that'll be probably when he opens up donations and stuff.
Yeah, which I can't wait for, because I'll be honest, I might donate a few dollars, but I'm probably gonna just keep it up as an open tab and just refresh it over and over just to see how much it's increased.
Yeah. Which someone actually gave some pretty neat spin-off ideas. A Tigran backstory, how Malachi became Carthon leader, how Zan became Necrolord, which honestly that one's not too good because that's just part of Deathsinger's plan.
Yeah.
The kingdom's distracted.
A Tigran backstory would it sounds interesting because I have a feeling that it would be somewhat similar to Ingress's, but his path went it went down a more hatred path. Like
I wouldn't quite go with backstory. I think definitely a spin-off focused on Tigran would be cool, but I don't think a backstory is the direction I would go with it. I would probably go with more of a like, what was he doing to prepare for the Second Great War and Ingress's returning? What was he doing with all that? I think that would be much more interesting than learning about Tigran's backstory. What are the specifics of Ingress's plan, and how is Tigran executing it? Like his dealings with the Unyielding Legion, for example. How did that come about? What did he do to get that initiated and hire Jalkar? How did
that? Yeah, I see where you're. I see what you mean. Yeah, that definitely sounds a lot better than understanding what Tigran's backstory is. In all honesty.
Yeah. So for backstories, Sen's brothers, that would be interesting. What happened to Sen's brothers after, because they were presumed dead. Yeah. So what happens when the Voltaris attacked the village and Thalius ran off with Sen, and then his father died? Like, what happens with that? Where did the rest of his what actually happened to the rest of his brothers? That would be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a very interesting. That would be a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first part of the fun thing. The second one, someone else came in and just straight up said, "I'm willing to donate 100,000 by next summer of 2025." It's like,
I was honest. I was honestly taken aback by that comment. I'm like, there's no way this guy is serious. There's no way he's going to donate
Yeah, that's
$100,000. Who is he, Mr.
20%
Beast?
on its own. 20%. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, like I was just baffled. I'm like, this dude has to be joking. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I will note, until he has the money in hand, I am going to be skeptical, just because he mentioned trading. Running with the stock market, or any kind of stock-like market, such as cryptocurrency, is always risky. One minute you could have all the money in the world, and the next, you're broke. Like, anything can happen, so until he has the money in hand, I'm gonna be okay, it's a good promise, but let's see you actually execute it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm just gonna be a little skeptical, but it's still a good promise. It's like, hey, I've got 100,000 that I can contribute.
Yeah,
That's so good.
Yeah, like if he manages, yeah, if he manages to make good on that promise, I will be so surprised. Like, honestly,
eternally thankful.
Yeah, same. Like,
maybe not quite that aggressive with wording, but like that is something to be thankful for.
Yeah.
Rebounding off the theme of Thanksgiving was like 2 days ago. Yeah, and Mont again said, as long as you're financially responsible for it, alright, that's okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of financially responsible, refunding. So Mont has made it very clear that he will refund all of the money donated for Songs of War. And again, this is why I specifically say, first support the fundraisers, then support the Patreon. Because they won't refund your Patreon, but they will and do plan on refunding fundraisers if the project gets canceled. So
yeah, which is understandable.
That on 2 different accounts. Most people would be paying specifically for season 2 and 3, which the fundraiser would be for, and would result in a loss of them wanting refunds, which would get messy. Smaller projects such as the spin-offs won't require any kind of fundraising. Because that's all going to come out of Mont's pockets and his budget.
Right.
Though, the way he's putting all of this, like saying it would be all or nothing, and if he doesn't get the money for it, I'm wondering what the time limit is going to be. Because it's clear that there's going to be a time limit on this, in my mind. He's going to put the fundraiser up, and then here's a deadline. If it's not met by the deadline, everything gets refunded, and that's just... That's
the final nail in Songs of War's coffin.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully it won't come to that, but we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But that is the idea, is if the project does not end up being able to fall through and move forward.
Yeah, hopefully the sun...
I said that wrong. If it does fall through and doesn't move forward, they have plans to refund all of the money that was done.
Right. Hopefully the sun will rise in Songs of War's favor.
Yes. So, a couple more things on the rewrites. And I want to get a little bit into this, because I have a lot of opinions.
Do tell.
Currently, Mont is the only writer. He hasn't looked into anything. He's not going to be the main writer. He's obviously going to have a say, but he isn't going to be... I don't think he has a team yet, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh. Well, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, the project isn't exactly a 100% go as of yet.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that's understandable. Also, I love how, just don't kill Rhea for the sake of it, killing her just because you don't like her unfinished character instead of actually giving her an arc is an insane waste of potential. But what if I want to kill Rhea? I love it. Ollie has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he has a good sense of humor.
I love it. But we're not anywhere near the time for rewrites, obviously. But he will gladly take notes from the community. So if there's something that you think would work, and like be reasonable, try not to inject too many like your own opinions and worldviews into it. Think what would make the best story. Because that's what we all want. We want the best story possible.
Yeah.
Like, I really hate to bash on Hollywood so much, because just they do a lot of good stuff, or have done a lot of good stuff in the past. But, like, I don't want this to end up being a Hollywood situation where it just gets too injected with people's opinions, and then it's not good anymore. It's not telling a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I really want this to be good if it does go through, and that's why if anyone has seen me in the Discord, you know I've got opinions on some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Most particularly Alistair. I've seen a lot of people just completely bash me for my thoughts on how Alistair should be done. Because it's like, everybody wants him to be this nice, good guy, it's like, yay, less Draco Malfoy, and I'm sitting here like, dude, I like the bitch of a guy he is. Sorry for the language, but it's like, I like the guy.
If
he needs tweaking. He needs to be fine-tuned, but in my opinion, I think the rich snob is the perfect foil for a poor farmer. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, disagree with me all you want, but that's my opinion. No one's gonna change that.
Yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I've said this in a video of mine before when I heard about Songs of War coming back. I said that Songs of War has the potential to become one of, if not the greatest franchise of its time, and as far as I'm aware / concerned, I think that Songs of War is going to come back greater than ever. Like, I'm confident in that.
Yeah. If it does end up making return, I think there is a high likelihood that it's going to be better. Like, Season 2 is going to be better than Season 1.
Yeah, and I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, very excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. But with rewrites, he'll take suggestions and ideas from the community for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He also said, well, you can scream at me when the time comes for those suggestions. But quiet screaming, please. Don't be too in his face.
Yes, remember, kids, keep your inside voices.
Don't be too loud, guys. If we're too loud, we're gonna wake the monster in the basement.
We don't
want to do that.
We don't want to wake up the monster in the basement now, do we? He gets hungry.
Yeah, very hungry. Hold on. We're gonna end up waking this guy up. He's gonna be released, and there's nothing we can do about it. Hold on a second. I'll get it. I'll get the picture. Just give me a second. It's in the prologue.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Hold on. Oh, let's mute that. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna end up waking this guy up. We're gonna wake him. He's gonna be unleashed, and everyone's gonna die.
Oh my gosh,
Don't use our inside voices, kids. This red-eyed monster is going to be the death of you.
He's going to quickly and methodically break into your house.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, rewrites. I think there's a lot that can be done it needs a lot of tweaking.
Yeah,
But
especially with Sen's character, but I digress.
well, what about Sen? Like everybody knows, Rhea needs some reworks.
Yeah, I
Like,
just,
she needs to
I just,
not be a Mary Sue. But what about Sen? I thought Sen was pretty solid overall.
I just feel like he's a bit too average. Like, I feel like he deserves an arc of some kind. Like, you know.
Well, his arc is throughout the entire show. Like,
Right, but
like he comes from heritage unknown, and grew up as an orphan in a Sandara's family. He is
well, I mean,
he then goes on an adventure with his mentor and comes back. Everything is gone. His whole life as he knew it is gone. So now he has to cope with that, as well as the death of not only Thalius, but the rest of his friends and family, presumably Rhea. So you have to cope with that. And then he's got to figure out, like, later down the line, after he does somewhat do that, he has to prepare for the war and figure out what his role is in it. And then he has to accept the fact he's Voltaris, which, that needs a little bit more closure.
Yeah.
I think the final scene in the Crown Peak throne room could use of a little bit of reworking to be able to make that perfect. But
yeah,
his arc is fine.
Right, I'm just saying, Sen as a character, he's okay, but he can't be better, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree on that. Like, the reason I bring this up is because I remember watching a video of someone explaining how Sen could be improved as a character, and in my opinion, he made a lot of pretty good points. Like, I'll see. I'll see. After this, I could try sending you the video if I could find it. But like,
oh, hold on. Are you talking about the video from Vexon?
oh, I think so.
So I'm literally trying to find that right now. There's a. Hold on, wait. I think I can do that. I think I can do this better. As a link.
Search from.
I can't. There isn't a from.
Yeah, you have to type it in. A colon.
Let's just try this. Yeah,
there it is. Yes.
Is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw this one. I actually thought it was pretty good. It makes some good points, and those are, like, for the most part, the rewrites that I would implement. Make things just a little bit smoother and make his arc a little bit more concise. But yeah, I thought it was good. I'll link both this one and then the CK Voltaris and Gressos one in the description.
Yeah, I would highlight.
Seen them and they want to check it out. But yeah, no, I agree with most of what he says. But his arc is relative. Sen's arc is relatively fine.
Okay.
Just my opinion. But nobody asked, so that's fine.
All right, next point.
So yeah. Then there's the fun video announcement. This is some of the juicy stuff.
Yay!
So Mont recently said on the 27th that the announcement video is done, just with some besides some minor edits. They're currently discussing on where they want to release it. They could either go on the Squared Media community channel like they were initially planning on it, or they could go on the Squared Media official, like the main channel.
Yeah,
the downsides with doing it on the main channel is that they have to work with a tight schedule, so they have to find a way to fit it in somehow. But it would get it more attention.
Yeah, that
on the community channel, there's less of a restrictiveness. They can kind of do whenever. but it's not going to get as much attention as it would on Image.
Right. So it's a bit tricky. Like, in all honesty, I think I would probably lean for. In my opinion, I would probably release it on the main channel, mainly because it would get more attention. I know they're probably gonna have to work on a tight schedule, but I'd say the risk is worth the reward.
Agreed. I think because we've already waited this long, anyway. I think we can wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, I
To
agree.
get a video. I mean, he initially told us about this on in June. So it's been months, and we've been waiting. So I think we can wait a little bit longer for a better result than having to force it and it be a worse result.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah. I think that would just be better overall. Just wait for them to have a good time. It'll probably be starting tomorrow, next month. Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I am fine with delays as long as it's quality. If the video's good and it provides a lot of information and it helps bring attention to the project, I'm okay with waiting.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we waited this long. What?
Yeah. Waited quite a while.
Yes.
Here's a reference no one can get. You made me wait quite a while. Something like that. I don't know. I can't really do the voice for it, but if you get that reference, like you can't see it, but I have my thumbs up. Good for you.
good for you if you get that reference. But he.
Yeah. Noah, you don't even get it. Come on.
No, I do not. You're right, I don't.
Dude, you can't be saying good for you if you get it when you yourself don't get it.
Listen, I'm playing into the bit, alright? I'm playing into the bit.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, I only have this to say. I believe that time is coming again. Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if there's nothing else to go over, because that's all the stuff I've got. No, is there anything else you want to say about anything?
Only that I hope that the series does make a comeback. I'm remaining hopeful, you know.
Well, that's good. Bye.
Bye.
Get out of my video. Go. Leave.
Go clean the dishes. I know you haven't washed them. Go clean the dishes. Go clean the
your
dishes.
dishes. They're in your sink, they're in your living room, your bedroom. I don't know where they are, but you better go clean them. I've got so many baseball bats. Like, it's not even a fucking joke. It's not funny. I've got so many baseball bats.
And that.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. See you all later.
See you guys.
Bye.